You're watching First Alert 7 News at 9 on the CW and live on YouTube with Lauren Munt and weather with Tom Tiefertiller.
The work that she's led since day one, she was instrumental in that transition plan coming into the district. She was instrumental in that revisit of our strategic plan and building out those strategies and initiatives. And that is work that now is foundational within our district.
After 18 years in Midland ISD, Ashley Osborne is stepping away to work for a nonprofit organization that provides technical assistance to state and local education agencies. We take a look back at what she's achieved for Midland in just a few minutes. Thanks for joining us for First Alert 7 News on the CW, and thanks to those of you joining us live on our YouTube. I'm Lauren Munt, and our top story tonight comes out of Ector County, where they've announced a new facility for Ector County juvenile offenders, costing around $66 million. The current Ector County Youth Center was built in the 1970s, and it's now facing serious infrastructure issues, and it's struggling to keep up with operation demands. The current facility houses 20 juveniles, 19 males and 1 female, across a wide range of ages and a wide range of offenses. And while the most common charges, are aggravated felony level crimes involving weapons, they can range from Class B misdemeanors up to felonies like murder. And no matter their crime, all of these offenders share the same building, which has raised a lot of concern about security and safety.
Crimes are getting higher, our risk is higher, our needs are higher. Pretty much anything an adult can get charged with, juveniles are charged with as well. You have your highest crime with your lowest crime, all in the same day area. And it almost creates more of a problem because you worry about those lower risk offenders being with those higher risk.
The current building is no longer just a detention facility for juveniles. It also houses mental health services, counseling, and substance abuse programs. Staff strive to offer these services at the highest possible level of quality, but it's a difficult task. This new facility would not only benefit the juveniles, but it would also address many of the current issues.
We're also educating these kids. We are, of course, detaining these kids, and then we're also providing those mental health resources.
You're already dealing with kids that are spitting at you, punching you, all the assaults that we have on staff, and it's already dark as it is, and then you come into a place that it's just not nice. It's very dark.
The goal is to do everything possible to help these kids reintegrate into society as quickly as possible, while also ensuring the safety of the community. On Tuesday, the City of Odessa will vote on a resolution or a notice of intent to issue a certificate of obligation for this coming November. In just a few days, a bipartisan act protecting foster children will be signed into law. It's called the Find and Protect Foster Youth Act, and it was created by Representative Tony Gonzalez. This piece of legislation aims to improve feedback between states and the administration of children and families in an effort to help missing and runaway foster kids. In a statement to First Alert 7, Representative Gonzalez wrote, quote, "Far too many foster children have gone missing in Texas and across the nation." To read more about this soon-to-be law, you can go to our website, firstalert7.com. Speaking of foster children, did you know that right here in the Permian Basin, over 500 kids are currently placed in foster care? And because there are so many kids and not enough homes, many of the children are forced to leave the West Texas area. 89% of children are placed outside of their home county, and over half of them are relocated more than 100 miles away. In order to combat these alarming statistics, local organization, the Attic Foster Network, operates a resource center. And this resource center is just one piece of the puzzle that the nonprofit has to help make current homes for their kids a little more stable in times of uncertainty.
Not only does that child lose the family that they were part of, but they also don't have access to a familiar teacher or supportive coach. When you're removed from everything that is familiar to you, it really creates a disruption in that sense of belonging. Not even being in a city that they recognize and stuff can also be traumatic.
Here's the good news. You don't have to be a foster parent in order to help out the Attic Foster Network. This weekend, the organization is hosting its 3rd annual Superhero Run, which raises money for the Attic, and it allows them to expand their reach. To learn more about the Attic Foster Network or sign up for the run, you can visit this story up on our website. Again, that's firstalert7.com. Tracking crime now, Odessa Crime Stoppers needs your help looking for these two men. They were caught on camera stealing roughly 100 feet of copper cable. They're offering a cash reward to anyone with information that leads to their arrest. If you recognize them, you can call 333-TIPS or use the Crime Stoppers app. That's P3-TIPS. And if you're flying out of Midland International Air and Spaceport anytime soon, you should arrive early and you should plan for a holdup at TSA. According to the City of Midland, another unexpected equipment outage is causing delays. You'll remember last week the same issue occurred, and the city says they're unsure of how long these delays could last. We're going to take a pause now and talk your weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Tom Teeferteller. Tom, how's it looking out there?
Well, we're not going to see any airport delays due to weather across the areas. We're looking at mostly sunny skies and hot conditions. Never really saw too much get going in the way of showers or thunderstorms, just a little bit of activity across portions of the Pecos County area between Fort Stockton and Alpine along U.S. Highway 67. Temperatures were hot. We were all the way up to triple digits in Monahans, 99 in Wink, and Fort Stockton, and into the mid-90s across the Midland-Odessa area. Also triple digits down towards Presidio, as we are looking at temperatures right now into the mid to upper 80s out there. So still a little on the warm side and still dealing with some humidity across the area into around 50%. It's what we're currently dealing with. So we're going to keep those temperatures up a little bit because of the added humidity, only dropping down into the lower 70s. Now some changes are on the way with a cold front that'll be moving in this weekend just in time for the start of fall. We'll talk a little more about that here, what it's going to do to the forecast in just a couple of minutes.
Thank you, Tom. Some environmental news for you. A UTVB student is taking her research on plant pollinator networks in the West Texas area to the state capitol and then beyond. Evelyn Guerrero will be showcasing her project at the largest multicultural STEM diversity conference in the country. The research aims to understand the ways that native and non-native species interact with each other. They look at what animals or insect lands on a plant, pollinates it, and how it interacts with other plants around the preserve. Evelyn and her classmates logged over 1,650 pollination interactions of 70 flowering plants, and 650 specimens were caught.
I'm really excited just to show people that West Texas has some beautiful nature, and we have some spots to look at and to enjoy out here, and it's not just industrial land.
Evelyn and her classmates have sent the data and the collection to UT Austin to serve as baseline data for interpreting pollination interactions. And once the project is complete, it's going to be published in a journal. In some more environmental news, the West Texas Geological Society kicked off their fall symposium. This forum brings companies, researchers, and students together to discuss the energy industry. Geologists say that the event is important because it directly impacts the Permian Basin and how oil is distributed across the globe.
Vital to the community because the energy that's coming from the Permian Basin, for example, affects the global supply and demand. So between countries and the relationships there, and the future of energy is really dependent on the community that's getting it out of the ground every day.
At the event, there were technical sessions, luncheon speakers, exhibitions, and a golf tournament. The symposium's last day is tomorrow, with more presentations and exhibits. And guess what? Anyone can attend to learn more.
You don't have to flash your badge and show your geology degree to come on in. So I've seen a number of engineer friends that I know that are here. We have landmen that come by as well too. It's kind of for everybody, right?
The symposium is happening all day at the Busch Convention Center. West Texas was rattled once again by another earthquake this week. A 5.1 magnitude quake struck Monday night in Ackerley between Lamesa and Midland. Now, this comes just 2 months after another 5.1 quake struck near Snyder. According to the website Volcano Discovery, there have been more than 4,000 earthquakes in Texas just this year, with about 160 of those above a magnitude 3. The Texas Railroad Commission found wastewater injection wells are contributing to some of the seismic activity. However, a professor of geophysics at Texas Tech says ancient tectonic boundaries are also at fault.
The reason why we've been experiencing more and more earthquake is because the stress is being released around the fault ruptures. And that stress has been accumulated.
Basically, when those sections of Earth suddenly slip past each other, it causes seismic waves in the ground, like a ripple in a pond. In the event of a stronger earthquake, experts say to take cover beneath a sturdy desk or table, or move against an inside wall. We've got an update for you now. The boil water notice for Gardendale has been lifted. Now, this has been in effect since Saturday morning after a power outage at a pump station caused the water pressure to drop. Gardendale residents can go back to normally drinking, cooking, and cleaning with their tap water. Some education news for you now. Midland ISD's Associate Superintendent of Teaching and Learning is set to lead in educational talent development at the national level. As October marks the end of Ashley Osborne's 18-year career with MISD, the district took a look back at the improvements that she's helped make. MISD has seen a number of improvements in the National Merit semifinalists, pre-K seats, and professional learning credits for the summer and back-to-school sessions. But Osborne's top priority at MISD was improving the literacy rates, which led to a district-wide phonics-based curriculum that's increased reading grades for 60% of students.
What that really does is have a focus on providing students, especially in those primary grades, those foundational skills that will teach them to read. And so they will be stronger readers because they have that phonics instruction in kindergarten through second grade.
Now, even though Osborne's leaving, the district remains committed to the growth of their students, and they plan on building upon these plans for the future. The teaching and learning and school improvement departments will be combining starting in October. In more education news, ECISD has announced that their school district's college, career, military readiness score has increased compared to last year. According to a news release, the score is sitting at 88%, or an A. That's a 15-point jump from 2023's score of 73, and it's 12 points higher than the state score. ECISD officials say the CCMR exists to ensure Texas students are prepared for life after high school, and this makes up a large percentage of the school's TEA accountability rating. And the Midland Salvation Army is set to receive $260,000 for homeless veteran support. This comes from a $2.4 million in grant funding for veteran organizations across West Texas. And the money from these grants is generated primarily by the Texas Lottery Commission's games that's designated for veteran support, and individual donations made through state agencies. For a full list of veteran organizations that are receiving funding, you can visit our website. That's firstalert7.com. And coming up, it's Hunger Action Month. We're talking about how you can help end hunger right here in the Permian Basin. The story behind peanut butter is up next. 3 years, First Alert 7 and the West Texas Food Bank have raised 120,000 pounds of peanut butter, and all of it goes right back out into the West Texas community. But before the West Texas Food Bank can give out those jars of peanut butter, they need to make sure that it's good to give out. The food bank serves the 19 counties in West Texas, and volunteers help get food to those that need it. So after food gets donated, volunteers check to make sure that the jars haven't been opened or that the peanut butter isn't expired. From there, it gets put on the warehouse shelves and onto a shopping list for customers, or volunteers from across West Texas can grab the peanut butter to help those who need it.
We are blessed that we have processors and we have the volunteers we have. So we're actually, I think, able to go through it pretty quick. It takes a couple of days if we have a good group of volunteers coming in for a couple of days just to go through, sort it, and make sure everything's good.
To volunteer at the West Texas Food Bank, simply give them a call. And as a reminder, the 4th annual First Alert 7 Peanut Butter Drive for the West Texas Food Bank is next Thursday. You can drop off peanut butter to the First Alert 7 studios in Music City Mall or at either of the West Texas Food Bank locations in Midland or Odessa.
Well, we're going to be seeing a few changes coming up with a cold front later this week. We'll tell you what it's going to do to the weekend and the start of fall coming up next.
Now, from the First Alert 7 Weather Center, here's Chief Meteorologist Tom Tiefertiller.
Well, we are going to be looking at a few changes coming up later this week with a cold front. In the meantime, though, the last few days of summer are going to feel like summer. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we were hoping for, an isolated shower, thunder shower out there. Again, that never really materialized, as all we saw is relatively quiet conditions across the area. An isolated shower, thunder shower got going across parts of Pecos County, but it didn't last too long, and now the clouds are even starting to dissipate out there as we didn't have a lot of upper level support. The tail end of it was up here across the Texas Panhandle, and you can see the big swirl there into portions of Montana and North Dakota, kicking off some showers and thunder showers. So we didn't have that down here. We're still under this ridge of high pressure. You can see it arcing right there, and that kept things hot across the state and will continue to do so here for the next couple of days. Maybe eke out an isolated shower, thunder shower in the mountain areas, really be about it, as most of the state is rather quiet. And it was hot today across the state of Texas. The Lone Star State saw 99 degrees in Austin, 97 in Houston. But some of the hottest stuff was back here in the West Texas with triple digits in Presidio. Now the futurecast shows by the morning hours we'll see a little area of moisture move in, maybe some low clouds to wake up to briefly first thing in the morning, but by the afternoon hours it's the mountain areas with a little bit better lift here as the southeast wind hits those mountains, kick off a shower, thunder shower out there. Some of it may try to trickle into the Trans-Pecos and even into the Permian Basin, but not a lot it looks like, just hot and dry, and continuing that forecast into Friday. Still dealing with the humidity, but not enough to kick off any scattered showers or thunder showers by Friday afternoon. So Friday night football, A-OK. Here's what we're looking at the rest of tonight. Again, higher humidity levels are going to keep temperatures up into the lower 70s overnight tonight, mid 90s tomorrow, but we'll see triple digits western Permian Basin around Pecos and Presidio up to 103 tomorrow afternoon. Your First Alert 7 10-day forecast does show another hot one on Friday and really continuing that into Saturday. It's just Saturday afternoon with the approach of that front. We could see an isolated shower thunderstorm in the forecast, about a 10% chance. Think a little bit better chance coming up on Sunday. We'll call it out at 20% as that front does move through. And look what it does to temperatures. Tries to cool them off by 5 to 10 degrees next week and push those nighttime lows back into the 60s.
Up next here at 9, meet the First Alert 7 Players of the Week. We're talking local sports next. All right, it's time to introduce you to the First Alert 7 Player of the Week, or should I say players? Sports reporter Jensen Young brings us more.
It's not often that you see two incredible performances like we did this week. Our first Player of the Week is one you might recognize. Kamad Fashawn was the First Alert 7 Player of the Week last week after contributing over 100 yards and 4 touchdowns to Wink's win over Stanton. Against Alpine, Fashawn shined even brighter. The sophomore running back ran for 359 yards and scored 6 times in the 60-7 win.
I really wasn't expecting it. I was just playing my game and just trying my best out here for the team and for myself and for the people I love too. It's a pretty big accomplishment, and I just want to thank my teammates for just helping me not only in the classroom but also everywhere else. And I just thank everybody,
Our second player of the week is Prather Schneemann. Schneemann is a junior quarterback for the Iran Braves. He helped Iran beat Crane 53-8 with an incredible 386 passing yards, 46 rushing yards, 6 passing touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown.
Just my coaching staff and all our players in the offensive line and the skill players around me allowing me to find them and being able to make a big play. A lot of it wouldn't happen without them catching the ball, making somebody miss, and going to score a touchdown. It's a pretty hefty stat line, but looking forward is something I'd like to approach again.
On Friday, the Wink Wildcats host Forsan, and the Iran Braves go on the road against Winters.
Thank you, Jensen. Still ahead, have you registered to vote? If not, don't worry, there's still time. We're talking more about it next. All right, Tom, yesterday was National Voter Registration Day, and here at home, 35 people visited the Midland County Elections Office and registered to vote. Now, if you didn't get the chance to register, I can't talk tonight, or update your registration yesterday, don't worry, there is still time to do those things before the November election. The deadline is Monday, October 7th, so you've got
still some time.
A little bit of time to go and register to vote. And don't forget, there's still, is it what you're saying?
47 days until the election.
Yes, very close. And we've got obviously some big ticket items in the national election, but we've also got a ton happening in the local elections as well. I know Odessa's voting on a new mayor, new people for city council, lots of other things happening in all of our surrounding areas.
A lot of state races too, so be sure to get out there and vote.
Absolutely. Go register and then go vote.
That's right, okay. Well, you're not going to have any weather issues really here. Maybe an isolated thunderstorm or two this weekend. But overall, though, for the start of the fall season, we're going to see a cold front roll in. And again, maybe an isolated shower, thunder shower with it, but overall, milder temperatures. Into the 80s next week. Nighttime lows getting back to the 60s, and I will definitely take that. Those nice.
I can't wait. Thanks for joining us for First Alert 7 News at 9 on the CW. We've got more news.